Hello, Da Vinci. Welcome back. This is our maths lesson for today. It is the 10th of the 2nd, 2021. So here's your arithmetic. Get yourself ready with your challenge 1, your challenge 2. Look what I've got. I've got my ruler. I know you're all looking for it. So I've got my ruler to help me. So get yours. Challenge 1, challenge 2, off you go. I'm going to start in a second. Pause the video. Right. Challenge 1, 17, take away 11. I can't do that. I haven't got 17 fingers. So what I am going to do is I'm going to make my camera bigger to start off with. I'm going to put my finger on 17. And I also need to then put my finger on 11. Now, 11 is the shortest number, so I'm going to start from there. And I'm going to count what the difference is between. Because what I can do, there's two ways I can do this. I can start from 17. And I can count back 11 spaces. Let's do that one first. So I'm going to 17. I'm going to take away, jump back 11 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So my answer is 6. My answer is 6. The other way you could do that is you can put your finger on 17. You can put your finger on 11. You can see what the difference is between them. Let's double check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, there's a difference of 6 between them because when you take away 17, that's how much is left. Oh, you take away 11, sorry. Right, 8 add 9. I'm going to start with 8. Doesn't matter which number I start with. They're commutative. I could start with 9 if I wanted to. Start from 8. I'm going to count on 9. Let's try again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. My answer is 17. Now, 3 times 2, bit of a tricky one, but actually we've been learning all about this, haven't we? It says you've got 3 groups, you've got 3 lots of 2. So you've got 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. You've got 3 lots of 2 in each group. 3 lots of 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. You've got how many dots in total? 6. Something, take away something is 1. Well, you could do, let me move my rest of my work here, move all that. So you could do 1 take away 0. We're good at these now, aren't we? 1 take away 0. 2 take away 1. And then the pattern continues because as you see, we're still going to equal 1 each time, but this numbers count up and these numbers count up. And there's always a difference of 1 in, it's not a number, in between each of these. There's always a difference of 1 from 4 to 5 and from 4 to 3 and 3 to 2. There's always just one number difference, and that can keep going all the way up to any number, really. Sorry, I had a bit of a mind blank then. So let's keep going. Let's go on to challenge 2 there. 39 add 21. 39 add 21. Right, 9 add 1, that's 10. My 0 goes here because that's in the ones. My 1 gets added to the 10 section because that's a 10. And I go 3 add 1 makes it a 4. And then I cross out that. And now 4 add 2 is 6. My answer is 60. Double something is 14. Right. Let's check. So what you can do for this is you can put 14 all together and you put 1 on one side, 1 on the other side. And the reason you're doing this is you're sharing 14 because double something is 14 is like saying what's half of 14. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. How many dots have we got on one side? Well, we've got 1, 2. I've just gone over 1 by accident. Let me just move try again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm sorry, that was quite small, but that's the answer, 7. Could have drawn it a bit bigger. I'll do that next time. 24, take away something is 17. Put your finger on 24. Put your finger on 17. What's the difference? How do we get from 24 to 17? Well, we're going to take away 1, 2, Let's try again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We're going to take away 7 to get to 17. Something take away something is 19. Again, we're good at these now. 19 take away 0. 20 take away 1. 21 take away 2. 22 take away 3. 23 take away 4. 24 take away 5. And you can see that pattern as this one counts up, this one counts up as well. Right, let's move on with our lesson today. So today we're looking at, can I divide by 2? We're going to be focusing on dividing by 2, sharing groups equally, or grouping in 2s. Now we've looked at both. We've said sharing is where you go 1 for you, 1 for you, 1 for you, 1 for you. And grouping is where you go, I'm going to take 2, put it over there. Take 2 and put it over there. Take 2 and put it down there. And how many groups do I have? Okay. So sharing, 1 for you, 1 for you, 1 for you, 1 for you. And that means I've made 2 groups. How many's in each group? Grouping, I'm making them in groups of 2, but how many groups am I going to make, okay? So it's just all about working out whether it's this number missing or this number missing. I have 8 children here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. They need to be divided, if I just make myself a little bit smaller so we can read the question. It's really important, and I cannot stress this enough. Today's lesson, we must read the question. There are 8 children. That's my starting number here. Perfect. They need to be divided into groups of 2. Groups of 2. That's my answer. How many groups? So I need to put them in groups of 2. So I'm going to be grouping. So here's 1, 2. That is 1 full group. Right. 1, 2. That is another full group. 1, 2. That's another full group. And, oops, I'm just doing number 1s by accident. And here, 1, 2, that's another full group. How many groups do I have? I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 groups. So 8 divided by 4 is 2 in each group. Spot on. I've got 8 children in total. I've made them into 4 groups and I've got 2 in each group. And the reason I worked that out is because it told me to group in 2s. Now let's go to the next question. This is the same question, but it's asking me to do something else this time. It says, here are 8 children. They need to be divided into 2 groups, not groups of 2. They need to be divided into 2 groups. So this time, this number is missing. So let's find out. I need to put them into 2 groups. So now I'm sharing 1 group and another in another group. So 1 in one side and another in another side. 1 in one side. So this is the, let me start again. Sorry, I don't want to confuse anyone. So what it's asked me to do, I've got my 8 children there and it's asked me to put them into 2. I've hit the end of my board. Let me try again. It's asked me to put them into 2 groups. So that's 1 group. And then over here is the other group, right? So now what I need to do is I need to put those children into those 2 groups. 8 children put into 2 groups. 1 on one side, 1 on the other side. 1 on one side, 1 on the other side. 1 on one side, 1 on the other side. 1 on one side, 1 on the other side. The final question is asking me how many are in each group. Because I've equally split them, I haven't got any children left over. I know that this group is the same as this group. So how many children do I have in each group? I've got 1, 2, 3, 4. I've got 4 children in each group. My answer is 8 divided by 2 is 4. You'll notice that even though it was a different question, it's the same answer. I've just swapped these 2 numbers over. This number and this number are the ones that can swap over. The total amount that it starts with does not swap. So 8 children I started with, 8 children I started with. How many groups? I made 4 groups with 2 in each group. And on the next question, I made 2 groups with 4 in each group. So it's not commutative because I'm not swapping the numbers over. I'm changing the numbers from my answer being of how many in each group and how many groups. They can swap, okay? Let's look at some more examples. Here, I've got 12 flowers. That's my total amount of flowers I start with. They need to be divided into groups of 2, groups of 2. So I need to be grouping in 2s. That's how many's in each group. So let's group in 2s. What? Oh, I can't because they're all grouped together. Hold on, give me 1 second so that I can change that. I'm sorry, I'm back. I had a bit of a mistake. I had them all as one group. I wanted to make them so that they're separate. Right. So the question is 12 in total. I've got 2 in each of the groups, okay? 2 in each group. But how many groups can I make? So I am grouping in 2s. So 1, 2. That is 1 group. Then, oh, stop putting a number 1. 1, 2, I'll have those 2 together. That is another group of flowers. 1, 2, this one. That is, move that one away. That is another group of 2. Then I need to group 1, and I'll have that blue one there. 2, that's another group of 2. Have I still got some left over? Yes, so I need to keep grouping in 2s until I've got none left. 1, 2. Group those 2. 1, 2. Group those 2. Have I got any left? No, I've grouped them all. Super job. Now I've grouped all 12 in groups of 2. So I've done that and I've done that. So what's my final answer? What's the number I'm missing? Well, it's missing how many groups of 2 do I have? Well, how many circled groups do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I've got 6 groups of 2. So my answer is 6. We're now going to look at that question again, but instead of grouping, we're going to share. So let's do that. It says, here are 12 flowers. That's my starting number. Done. They need to be divided into 2 groups. 2 groups. So I need to make 1 group here and another group here. I then need to find out how many will there be in each group. That's the information it's asking me to get. So I've read the question. Now let's move on. I've got 1 in that group, 1 in that group, 1 in this group, 1 in this group, 1 in this group, 1 in this group. Let me just keep going for a second because I've just realized I don't have 12 flowers. I've got 9 flowers. Mr. Watkiss, what are you doing? Let's try that again, shall we? Hold on. Okay, right. Sorry about that. That's my fault. We've got 12 flowers altogether. We have 12 flowers. We've got the 2 groups. That's what it's asked me to do. 12 flowers with 2 groups. Then what I'm doing is I'm sharing them 1 into each group. So the minute I've got 3 in this group, I've got 3 in this group, but I've still got flowers left over. So what I need to do is I need to keep sharing. So another 1 in this group, and I'm going to put another 1 in this group. And then need to put another 1 in this group and another 1 in this group. Right, I've got 2 flowers left. I need to keep sharing because I've not finished the flowers. 1 in that side and 1 in this side. Okay, I've got no more flowers now. So I've shared all 12 of them. There was 12 up here. I know I made a mistake twice, so that's my fault. There were 12 there, and I've shared them into 2 equal groups. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to see how many are in each group. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now, because I've shared them equally, there will be 6 on this side as well. So I've got 6 in this group, just inside this group, which means how many is in each group? There are 6. Just like the other one with the children, you can see that from the last question, we had 12 at the start, and we split them into groups of 2, and there were 6 groups. Now we had 12 at the start, we made them into 2 different groups, and there are 6 in each group. So this number and this number have just swapped places. It's not commutative because it's a different sum, or sorry, it's a different calculation or equation, but they are able to be swapped over because you can have 12 split into 2 groups with 6 in each group, and you can have 12 split into 6 groups with 2 in each group. Okay, so let's move on now to another question. This time I've got 9 flowers. Show Mr. Watkiss check he's actually got 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Perfect. Well done, Mr. Watkiss. I've got 9 flowers. I'm going to ask, can you help me share them into groups of 2? Groups of 2. That's not 2 groups, that's groups of 2. So I'm grouping in 2s. So let's have a look. Help me do that. So 1 flower and another flower. There is a group of 2. Let's do another one. So 1 flower. Oh, change. There we go. 1 flower and another flower. Oh, this one. Here we go. That is a group of 2. Then I can see another group of 2 there. And I can see another group of 2 there. Oh dear. What's happened? I had 9 flowers and I'm grouping in 2s, but what's happened? I've got 1 left over. Talk to your teddy. Why can we not equally share 9 into groups of 2? Why can't I share these 9 flowers equally into groups of 2? Well, it's because we're unable to share 9 flowers in groups of 2 because there's 1 left over. So it is unequal. You can't do it in year 2. You cannot do that sum in year 2 because it is unequal. We've got 1 left over, so we can't do it. So let's have a look. When we are dividing by 2, we're finding half of the total amount. So you can see here, I've got 1 group, another group, and that's my whole, isn't it? I've got 1 part and another part. So you can almost imagine that my 2 parts is this number in the middle. I've divided by 2. I've got 1 group here. So how many groups? I've got 2 groups. So that's 1 group. That's another group. Now, what we're going to do is I need to find my whole. So my whole is this number in this circle. And my amount in each is 4. That's this. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, to find my total amount, I've had 1, 2, 3, 4 blues, and I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 yellows. So you can see I started with a total of 8, and half of that, if you can imagine, half of that amount right down the middle has been put into this part, and half of it has been put into this part. I've divided by 2, I've split them up. Okay, so let's go on to another example of that. If I've got 12, I've got 6 in each group. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I've got 6 in each of those groups. I've then got 2 groups that I've split them into. One group, and that's the second group. 1, 2 groups I've split it into. I've then got my final amount, which is my total, which is 12. Now 12 will go in the total amount up there. It's just a different way of looking at it, whatever way works for you. So I then put the 6 blues in here without moving the whole thing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 blues on this side. And then on the other side, I'd have 6 yellows. If I actually make it an infinite clone and to make sure that I don't just drag the one. So it'd be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you can see there what I've done is I have just split it down the middle. So all the blues have gone to one side, all the yellows have gone to the other side. So I've got 6 in each group. I've got 2 groups, and my total, my whole, is going to be 12. Now, there is a way of linking a multiplication to work out the answer. So what this is saying is you've got a total. That's the number you start with. So when we had our flowers, we had 12 flowers, didn't we? And we put them into 2 groups, and there was then however many in each group. Well, this time we've got a total, but we don't know the total. But we do know that we've split them into 2 groups, and we've got 4 in each group. So I'm going to draw one group and another group. Now I'm going to put 4 in each group. So I'm going to group in 4s. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. And on the other side, I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. So I've got 4 on one side, 4 on the other side. I've got 2 groups. How many do I have altogether? Well, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So my total is 8. This is just like writing it in this way. It's like saying you've got 2 lots of 4 in each group, and your total is 8. Can you see how even though it's a different sign, if you put the numbers in a different order, you can end up with a multiplication sum, just like you've got as your division equation. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4 lots of 4 in each group, and you've got 2 groups, and you've got 8 in total. 2 lots of 4 is 8. You can do this with every single division equation. I've got 10 in each group. 10 in each group. And how many groups do I have? I've got 2. So I've got 1, 2. 2 groups. Now how many are in each group? Not 1. How many are in each group? There are going to be 10. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I've got 10 there. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to steal all them, and I'm going to put 10 on the other side there. So now I've got 10 on one side, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I've got 10 on one side and 10 on the other side. Now, how many do I have altogether? Well, I know that 10 add 10 is going to be 20. So 20 is my total, divided by 2 is 10. You can, again, use your numbers that you do have to work out the total that would be this number. So I have the numbers 2 and 10. They were the numbers that I knew. What I can do is I can say 2 lots of 10 equals, and it's the number that we found out, 20. as you can see, I've just swapped some of the numbers round, but it's really important for you to know the sentence. Something, lots of something equals the answer. So it'd be, for this one, it's 2 groups of 10 equals 20. 2 lots of 10. For this, it's 20 divided into 2 groups is 10 in each group. So it's just about remembering which number means what, okay? Now I'm going to do one more example. Last example before, I think this is the last example, before we then move on. So let's use the multiplication to work out this answer. Now, before I do it, what I can do, before I do my dots and my groups, I can actually just rewrite this by going, it says I've got something divided into 2 groups is 12 in each group. So it's like saying I've got 2 lots of 12 equals. Now, if I know my 2 times table, 2 lots of 12, I can actually swap those 2 round and go, it's the same as saying 12 lots of 2. So 12 lots of 2 is going to be what? Well, if I counted my 2s, I go 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20. That's 10 lots of 2. So I haven't got to 12 yet. 22, 24. So I think that the answer will be 24, which means this answer is going to be 24, which should mean that this answer is going to be 24, but I'm going to check. So something divided by 2 is 12. Something put into 2 groups. So 2 groups, 1, 2. And there's 12 in each group. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to get my cursor and I'm going to put 12 in each group and check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So now what I've got is I've got 12 in each. Well, I've got 12 in one group and I'm about to have 12 in another group. So let's get rid of that. Perfect. I've got 12 in one group and I have 12 in another group. So I'm now going to count all of the yellow dots to see how many my total is. So I've got 12. I don't need to count that 12 again because I know I've got 12. 13, 14. Let me do it dot for you. 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. So my answer is correct. It's 24. And I worked that out before doing all the drawings. I worked that out by changing it into a multiplication question and then working it out in my 2 times tables because I thought that would be easier. And I was right. So it's all about just remembering what these numbers mean. So remember, this one is always your total for the division. So we're only talking about division at the minute. This one is always your total. This one is always the number of groups. And this one is always going to be how many in each group. Now, I'm sorry my handwriting is not the best. We are in maths. So total, how many yellow dots have you got all together? How many groups have you got? 1, 2. How many in each group? I had 12. And that's where my numbers have come in. Right. I think it's time for your turn now. So here you go. Challenge 1. You've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 muffins. That's your total. There are how many muffins in each group? Remember, the groups are the plates. 1, 2, 3, 4. So how many muffins do you have in each group? That goes in that question there. There are how many groups? So there's all my underlines to show that those are a group. You can see the plates are a group. So how many groups have you got there? Okay, do one last group to show you. The question then says 10, which was your total, divided into 2 groups. So that would be 1, 2. How many muffins would go in each group? So you were grouping, now you're going to be sharing, okay? Then you've got something times by 2 is 10. So you've got a number, lots of 2. So you've got so many lots of 2 is 10. So how many lots of 2 is 10? That's asking you for your group knowledge, okay? Challenge 1, question 2. There are 12 cherries. Here's one group of cherries. There's another group of cherries. How many cherries are in each group? How many groups? You've got 12 and you've grouped them into 2. So you've put them into 2 different groups. How many in each group? You've then got 2 lots of something is 12. Challenge 2, I want you to complete the sentences for the array shown. Now, it's asking you to do it in rows and then columns. So it's saying your columns are in 2. So there's one column and there is another column. Okay, so you've got 2 columns. So that's that number. You've got 8 in total, but it's asking you how many rows do you have? Okay, I'm going to get rid of all that drawing because it might confuse you. How many rows do you have? It's then saying you've got 8 in total and you've put them into 2 groups. How many in each group? Okay, that would be putting them into columns. You've then got you've got a longer one here. It's saying something, lots of 2 is 16. So how many lots of 2? So that's a lot of 2, isn't it? You've got 2 there. So how many lots of 2 is 16? And then it says you've got 16 in total and you're going to divide it by 2. That means put them into 2 groups. There's one group, there's the other group. And then it's asking you how many in each group, okay? There are 14 socks here. Amir puts them in pairs. So a pair is 2, isn't it? If you've got a pair of socks, you've got 2 socks. How many pairs does he have? So he's grouping his socks into groups of 2, okay? How many pairs will he have? How many groups will he have? Complete the number sentence. So put it into this number sentence. Remember, your total is the biggest number, which is the biggest number is always going to go first. You cannot have a smaller number first for your division. It's not going to work in year 2. Challenge 3, I've got some division ones for you to work out. Remember, your total, how many groups, how many in each group, okay? Same here, total, how many groups, how many in each group. Same again, total, how many groups, how many in each group. For this one, you're missing your total, but you do have how many groups and you've got how many in each group, okay? So it's important for you to use the numbers that you do have to work out the rest of the sentence. I would like you to choose 2 and link it to a multiplication sentence. So like I did before, I said, if I've got 6 and I put them into groups of 2, then how many in each group? It's just like me going, I've got 2, and then I'm going to multiply it by however many to get the answer of 6. Or even the other way around, I've got this many, lots of 2 equals to 6. So that's for the question A. So that's question A there. So I've done that one for you. You still need to work out the answer. I've done that one for you. I'd like you to choose another 2. You can't use question A because I've shown you what the link is, okay? Thank you very much, Vinci. I'll see you in the next video after I've shown you the last few slides. I just realized you have another challenge 3 question here, which is question 6. Alex has 22 pencils. She puts them into pots. Each pot has 2 in each pot, in each group. How many pots does she need? That's her total. That's how many she's putting into the groups. So how many pots does she need? How many groups? Extension. If I know my 2 times table, I can use this to help me divide by 2. Do you agree with Dora? I agree or disagree with Dora because I know my 2 times table, so that's going to help me to divide by 2. Is she correct? Yes or no? I agree, I disagree. Thank you very much, Da Vinci. I'll see you in the next video. I know it's a bit of a longer one, but I really wanted to take my time with this. I know I made 1 or 2 mistakes in there, so I'm really sorry if I've confused anybody. But I wanted to take our time with this because there's a big difference between sharing and between grouping, and I didn't want to get them confused because one of them will definitely help you understand how to answer the questions. The other one might confuse you a bit because I always prefer one than the other one, but it's entirely up to you however you do it. Thank you very much, Da Vinci. See you later. Goodbye.